How much do you really save on a Toyota RAV4 hybrid versus a non-hybrid? In this video, I'm gonna go over the difference on pricing, the difference in fuel economy, so what you might save on fuel if you have a RAV4 hybrid versus a non-RAV4 hybrid, and I'm gonna go over the difference in routine scheduled maintenance on the RAV4 hybrid versus the non-hybrid, so if you're not sure which one to go for, then this video is for you. Oh, and by the way, two things. Make sure you subscribe to the best Toyota channel on YouTube, the Toyota World YouTube channel. I will be at the media day for the Toronto Auto Show, and I will show you everything that's new and exciting in the Toyota world and in the Toyota lineup. I'll also be doing a live video from the Toronto Auto Show, which actually falls on February 13. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Number two, if you're not so sure that you want a Toyota RAV4 hybrid in general and you want the non-hybrid, well then you kind of might have to hurry up with your decision because the Toyota RAV4 may be only hybrid in 2026. If there is a redesign, rumors have had it and said that there is going to be a redesign in 2026 for the RAV4 and that it will follow through with what happened on the Toyota Camry, which is hybrid only. All right, let's take a look at what you get in the non-hybrid Toyota RAV4 for 2025. You get 203 horsepower with 184 pound-foot of torque. Now it's hooked up to a 55-liter gas tank. What is the average fuel consumption? Combining both city and highway driving, the average fuel consumption on the Toyota RAV4 non-hybrid is about 8 liters per 100 kilometers, which translates to around 35 miles per gallon, give or take, on combined city and highway fuel economy. Now this ranges particularly from 33 miles per gallon up to 36 miles per gallon, depending on the exact trim and configuration of your 2025 non-hybrid RAV4. Now, before I get to what you get on the RAV4 hybrid, here's what's cool. Both the non-hybrid and the hybrid have the same size fuel tank at 55 liters. So you will be saving more fuel on the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. This is a no-brainer, but not only are you saving fuel, you're putting in the same amount of fuel as if you had the regular Toyota RAV4. Let's talk about the specs. Slightly more horsepower and slightly more torque on the RAV hybrid at 219 horsepower and 221 pound-foot of torque. As I said, the gas tank is a 55-liter gas tank, and it gives you a combined city and highway fuel economy of 6 liters per 100 kilometers, combining city and highway, which translates to around 47 miles per gallon. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can calculate the average fuel cost for you in any amount of period of time. I'm gonna go off of a 1-year driving cycle, which I'm gonna use the calculation of about 20,000 kilometers. Now you can translate this all to miles, and you can also use one of the fuel cost calculator websites that are available to you. You don't have to go crazy trying to figure it out. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. It's very simple. You plug in the distance traveled or the distance to travel, plug in the average liter per 100 kilometers, and plug in the average fuel of cost. So I did exactly that, and I used the average of 20,000 kilometers. Let's start off with the non-hybrid Toyota RAV4, which gives you about 8 liters per 100 kilometers, combining the city and highway fuel economy with an average fuel cost of around $1.50 a liter, which is what we're seeing here in Ontario, Canada. Now, plugging in those calculations, that would give you a fuel cost for 1 year or 20,000 kilometers of driving of $2,400 if you average out the fuel cost of $1.50 per liter. What is it on the hybrid Toyota RAV4? So similar calculations here, but we're gonna put 6 liters per 100 kilometers because that seems to be what the average is on the fuel consumption of the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. Now keep in mind, various circumstances can alter that, whether you're carrying a full maximum capacity of passengers, heavy cargo, if you're driving in harsh winter conditions for most of that time, then things like this will affect your fuel consumption. But let's say it's 6 liters per 100 kilometers. At 20,000 kilometer trip or journey for the year and an average fuel cost of $1.50 per liter, that would give you a fuel cost for the whole year of $1,799. That's a price difference of fuel of around $600 for the year. To summarize, it's going to cost you $2,400 for the year to gas up your Toyota RAV4 non-hybrid and around $1,800 to fill up the fuel tank for the year on your Toyota RAV4 hybrid. So as you can see, you're saving cost on fuel for the RAV hybrid. Now, what is the actual price difference from the non-hybrid to the hybrid? Let's look at the two most popular models for 2025 Toyota RAV4 lineup, which is the LE and the XLE. Toyota RAV4 LE non-hybrid has a Canadian MSRP of $33,555 plus your destination transportation fees and taxes up to $36,505 Canadian MSRP. That gives you a difference of around $2,950. Now, where do we stand on the XLE? The XLE Toyota RAV4 non-hybrid has a Canadian MSRP of $37,295 plus your destination, transportation fees and taxes up to just $39,645 Canadian MSRP. That's a difference from non-hybrid to hybrid of just $2,350 plus taxes to get yourself into the hybrid. From comparing just the price difference from RAV4 non-hybrid to hybrid and the fuel cost difference on what you would save if you had the hybrid, it would probably take you in and around the 3-year mark to make up that savings on fuel from what you had spent in price increase to get the RAV4 hybrid. Now, like I said, various aspects would change this timeline. The more you drive, the faster you will eat up that savings and get the advantage of getting yourself into the RAV4 hybrid over the non-hybrid. But keep in mind, there's other advantages to the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. For 2025, for example, the LE grade comes standard with alloy wheels on the 25 RAV4 hybrid LE, which it does not come standard with alloy wheels on the RAV4 non-hybrid LE. Also keep in mind, you've got more horsepower, more torque on the Toyota RAV4 hybrid versus the non-hybrid, which is going to give you a much more smoother, better responsive, and enjoyable driving experience. And you might also be able to enjoy an easier routine scheduled maintenance recommendation on the Toyota RAV4 hybrid versus the non-hybrid. Why? Well, because there's a few less parts on the hybrid version than what is on the non-hybrid. For example, RAV4 hybrids, or really most Toyota hybrid vehicles, don't have specific parts like starters, alternators. There's a lot of belts that are underneath the hood of the non-hybrid Toyota RAV4 that just simply are not on the hybrid Toyota RAV4 because they're generally replaced with a lot of electrical components that help to get the vehicle going. So if you take a look at the scheduled maintenance of a 25 RAV4 non-hybrid versus a 25 Toyota RAV4 hybrid, you will see that you'll have to replace the transfer case fluid at some maintenance intervals, that you will have to tighten the propeller shaft bolts on the Toyota RAV4 non-hybrid, whereas it's a lot more simple and seems like a bit less to do on the hybrid equivalent Toyota RAV4 versus the non-hybrid. Like I said, there's a lot of parts that are just not on the hybrid version of the Toyota RAV4, like the propeller shaft bolt, like the transfer case. These things don't apply when you're talking about the hybrid version of your RAV4. And I've mentioned this in a lot of my other videos. I'll put some links in the description below. You can go later on and check them out. But you may actually be able to extend the life on a lot of your wear and tear items on your Toyota hybrid RAV4 versus the non-hybrid RAV4. For example, brakes. A lot of the times your vehicle uses regenerative braking and engine braking on the hybrid version Toyota RAV4, which does slow down and decrease the wear and tear on items like brake pads, rotors, etc. So you might find yourself doing a brake job a lot later on a hybrid RAV4 than you would have to do a brake job on a non-hybrid Toyota RAV4. These are all cost advantages and savings when you're comparing the two options. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video topic and review. I think it's a no-brainer, in my opinion, to go for the Toyota RAV4 hybrid versus the non-hybrid if you can afford the upfront cost increase in terms of pricing, whether you're going for the LE, the XLE, or the limited grade. Those are the three models that are basically available in both lineups. We don't have an XSE or an SE model non-hybrid Toyota RAV4, at least for 2025. And keep in mind, this topic may be irrelevant in a couple of months or in a year, because rumor has it, like I mentioned, there will not be any non-hybrid Toyota RAV4s available come time for the redesign. But stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be at the auto show next week, capturing all those beautiful Toyota vehicles. We'll catch you in our next video, guys. Take care.